Welcome back to the Sooner Saloon. I'm joined with Nick Emerson. Today we are going to talk about Oklahoma and Cincinnati. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you are die-hard Sooner fans like us. So, guys, Oklahoma rolls into Cincinnati. They beat them 20-6. Defense played pretty good. Offense was all right. They could have played better. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'm content with the 20-6 win. Like you said, the offense didn't look great, but the defense played lights out. This is a game that I had circled going into the season as a kind of a trap game. Like, watch out, we could drop this one. And I think a year ago, this is probably one that we lose by probably 3 points.
Yeah. Obviously, I think the defense played really well. Obviously, you're kind of expecting some offensive struggles with the defensive line that Cincinnati has. They have two guys that are going to be playing on Sundays, so that obviously makes a big difference. And I mean, they were in the college football playoff a couple years ago, and I mean, we're not very far removed from that, so. They're a good team that I expect to only get better, and honestly, I think overall Oklahoma played a pretty good game. There's obviously a lot of room for improvement, but I'm never going to complain about a win. So
There you go. And I think you were saying earlier it's a lot better than a 45-38 win. You take a 20-6
Yes.
win over that all day. We're not used to this.
I'll take a 20 to yeah. I'll take a 20-6 win over a 45-38 win any day of the week. It's
There you go.
a lot easier on my heart.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Offense, guys. 425 total yards. The passing game was there. The rushing still we can't quite get figured out yet. Some of the play calling was a little off. I was sitting next to Nick during the game, and Nick was about to throw his freaking cup through the wall because he was starting to predict the plays that were coming, and you were predicting them.
I was about one more screen pass away from throwing myself onto the TV. But I was screaming, and I was getting very animated, and the joke was that Jeff Levy was up there. He orders chicken wings, he ate them, and he's got it figured out at this point, and that's when we started to do well. But
Right.
anyways,
Don't forget the dessert, the lava cakes from freaking Domino's. He had to get those too.
I mean, I will agree. It's the offensive play calling. I don't know if they're like saving it for Texas.
And I'm hoping that's what they're doing.
Sure. Yeah, at this point it has to be. Otherwise, you're just going to drive yourself mad. But it's like, how many screens and how many reverse jet sweeps are we going to see that go for no gain to a 5-yard loss until we're like, why stop doing this? Like, we're making it overly complicated. Against everyone we play except Texas, we have better athletes on the perimeter. Just let Dylan Gabriel get the ball to those guys in space and let them work. We don't need to get cute. So it is frustrating, but I think the offensive woes kind of tie in, Dylan Gabriel being somewhat inconsistent along with the offensive line, interior, not blocking particularly well, kind of go hand in hand. But yeah, the play calling is definitely another contributing factor.
yeah, no Savion Byrd for this game against Cincinnati. You want to say it's a factor, but whoever we have in that starting lineup, I think they should be able to produce. Rushing game got going in the second half, but first half it was irrelevant. We had to rely on Dylan Gabriel. We had some plays where on the first possession, it's a possession killer on third down where it gets snapped and it like hits him in the shoulder pad and he's not even ready for it.
Yeah.
Also had a fumble that just goes out of bounds. And that could have been a killer, but we come back from that. Dylan Gabriel misses a wide open receiver that's a walk-in touchdown, but overall I still think he played good. He had over 300 yards passing. He had a touchdown. Goes 26 of 38. Andrell Anthony is clearly our number one receiver, having 117 yards with 7 receptions. He was the go-to guy all day. Something that we talked about in the offseason. Who's going to be stepping up for wide receiver?
And what did I say?
Exactly.
Somebody would.
He's been stepping up. I also like the involvement of Nick Anderson. He's out there. He's getting good reps, catching touchdown passes, having a good impact on the game.
And
Yeah.
go ahead, Emerson. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, yes, Dylan Gabriel can be inconsistent, but I mean that long pass down the sideline, like right before the fourth, like right at the end of the third quarter, to Andrell Anthony when the dude was all over him and it was clearly a defensive pass interference.
Oh yeah.
If you go and watch the replay, I mean, dude, Dylan Gabriel put that in on his freaking numbers. That was Sam Bradford-esque.
Yeah.
That kind of accuracy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Dylan Gabriel can do it. He just needs to do it more often than not, which is the problem right now. And, yeah, I agree. Andrell Anthony is, head and shoulders the number one wide receiver. And then, yeah, get Nick Anderson and Farouk and Gibson the ball more. And I think this offense can get going. And that'll open up things in the run game as well, so.
But back to what Nick was saying, though, last year, we would have lost that game, man. We would have lost it.
Yeah.
That was one of those grinded out games, defense hitting each other back and forth. Dude, I'm telling you, we would have lost that game last year. And that goes back to this team is a little bit more mature than what they were last year, and there's the depth this year. So that's you can't ask for much more than that. But now on the defensive side of the ball, guys, we didn't give up a single touchdown today. 6 points, 2 field goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, guys. We finally have a defensive leader on that unit. And I think we all know what I'm talking about. This dude,
Danny Studsman. He's a stud.
You guys, literally, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, a week ago, we're saying, Danny Studsman for a Butt Kiss Award.
That was right before the Arkansas State game.
Yeah, a bold prediction.
That was a bold prediction. It's highlighted, capitals.
He's making it happen, fellas. And it's not like he's just tackling people. It's tackles, it's tackles for loss, it's sacks, interceptions, getting pick sixes. He's doing everything, and he's truly the leader of that defense, vocal leader. He's getting everybody in the film room, taking a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. He looked really good. He was making all the plays on, a third and short, fourth and short. He was making tackles.
How many times when we were watching that game, Nick, did I tell you that would have been a first down 2 years ago? That would have been a first down. That would have been a first down.
Yeah.
Even though, some broken plays that were kind of fuck-ups on our end, but how many times was there a DB or a linebacker there to wrap the guy up and stick it to him and hold on to him and take him down to the ground? We didn't see that a couple years ago.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And, I mean, they gave up it was like a 3rd and 19 quarterback scramble on Emory Jones. That stuff's going to happen, especially in college football. But, yeah, the consistency, the open field tackling has improved tremendously. I remember it was a 3rd and 1. I think it was a 4th and 1. And they lined up in that Bear defense. And they had both guards in the center covered with defensive linemen. And Danny Stutzman just fills the gap and sticks the running back. And they get a turnover on downs. If you include turnovers on downs with the turnover ratio, which I would, but statistically they don't. I think Oklahoma's probably top 10 in the country as far as turnover ratio.
Did they even make a
nation.
4th down conversion Saturday?
They made one, I believe.
They made one.
Did they?
Out of 4.
They were
But yeah, that's what I was about to say. They went forward a lot.
You guys, I also want to mention this. Emory Jones, QB. Usually they have a heyday. A mobile quarterback against an Oklahoma defense, it's their best game of their career. Mm-hmm. Emory Jones is held to 42 rushing yards. He had that one long rush on a 3rd and 19, goes for 20 yards. He had 15 carries, guys. He averaged 2.8 a carry. And you didn't see the D-line rushing past the quarterback and going upfield and giving him a lane to run through. They contained him extremely well, and I couldn't be more impressed on their scheme and the way that they attacked him.
And honestly, if you think about it, he's probably one of the top 3 most athletic quarterbacks you're going to see this season. I don't think Quinn Ewers is very athletic. Jalen Daniels at KU, he's obviously very athletic. He's probably going to be the number 1 most athletic quarterback you see as far as the Oklahoma defense. Other than that, I think a lot of these guys are going to be pocket passers, and I think the defensive line is starting to gel get their stunts together. Yes, PJ was a split second away from a strip sack fumble, forcing an incompletion. I think he's gonna get one of these days. And I mean, I'm gonna tell you this right now: Oklahoma is tied for number 2 in the country in scoring defense, averaging 8.5 points a game. 4 game. I mean, we're a third. Say what you want. We're 4 games in. That's a third of the season, and they're not tied for number 2 with Ohio State, and Michigan is number 1. You ask Oklahoma fans if they could have the tied for number 2 defense in the country 4 years ago under Alan Skrinch, they'd give you their freaking left lung to make that happen.
Right.
So,
you're right.
I mean, yeah, it's.
You were gonna say something else.
The Venables
but
effect.
We're on the internet right now in front of people talking, but I know
the left, whatever you want, whatever organ you want to pick that you have 2 of as a man, they would have given it to get Oklahoma to the number 2 defense in the country. So, yeah, I think. And also considering that we've played like a couple good teams like SMU, I think Cincinnati is pretty legit. So. That's it's not like they're playing nobodies out here. These are pretty decent teams that they've held their own.
Besides
against,
Arkansas State, they did.
You guys,
win.
I want to give you
everyone
guys
has that
a
one club.
quick stat just to think about for 4 games for our opposing opponents. They are 17 of 62 on third down conversions.
That's insane.
It is. That's very impressive. That's very impressive.
Really
we have not seen that in a long while here at Oklahoma.
Now, we were just talking about that. Like the last time I can actually remember Oklahoma having a juggernaut defense. I'm saying juggernaut defense. I'm not saying that's what they are this year yet. We're 4 games in. But the last time they had an actual juggernaut defense was like 2009. When we won the Sun Bowl.
I also want to say this. In the offseason, we're saying if we can see a little bit of improvement on defense, this team can go win 10, 11 games. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think that's very possible this year.
You at this point, because I didn't think the defense would be this good. You give the Texas game a coin flip. Even if they lose, they still have a chance to win the Big 12. They could not easily win out. There's a couple tough games in there. Like I said, Kansas looks pretty legit.
UCF looks all right. They lost K-State, but UCF looks all right.
Yeah. Yep, UCF looks all right, and K-State's a good squad too, so I'll give them that. And it was the Big 12 opener. Obviously, there's a lot of emotions there, but I mean, Oklahoma. Even if Oklahoma loses to Texas, they still have a path to the Big 12 championship, possibly a rematch like we saw in 2019 with Kyler Murray.
2018.
So, 2018. Sorry, yes, thank you. So, I mean, yeah, they still have a little bit of a margin for error, and they still have all of their goals in front of them, which is leaps and bounds ahead of where you were last year at this point.
Last year we're sitting at 3-1 with a very disgusting loss to K-State. On top of that, going into the TCU game. And then I remember us sitting here after the TCU K-State losses last year. We're looking at our schedule. We're like, there's not a single game left that we can win on this thing.
Yeah. And they let Adrian Martinez carve them up with K-State. I mean, like, it's one thing, if it's K-State, but it was Adrian freaking Martinez who transferred in from Nebraska 3 months before that, dude. Like, come on, man. So, yeah, that's a stark difference.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I do want to say no Justin Harrington, no Reggie Pearson yesterday. We've already said enough. Defense played lights out. So
they did.
Just seeing that depth.
Yeah.
They did.
Key Lawrence had that amazing pick. I mean, shout out to him. He's kind of battled through some adversity, coming in from Tennessee and kind of falling on the depth chart a little bit. I feel as comfortable with Key Lawrence out there as I do anyone, and Billy Bowman, Peyton Bowen. I mean, the secondary is stacked.
Huge,
Like it's
huge shout out to Peyton Belmont because it's a third down. They're in the red zone. They throw it to the corner. He goes and he bats it away. That could be a tying touchdown going into halftime and change the complete momentum of the game. They go, kick the field goal, miss it. So points off the board. Freshman out there who honestly could find himself in a starting role.
yeah.
Well,
And that's another thing. Special teams. I know, if you miss a field goal, is it on the person kicking the ball or the people lining up against them? You can argue either way, but I mean, Cincinnati was at home. He had every reason to make that field goal. It wasn't like it was super long. So, maybe
those
he
are
heard
motivation
footsteps
killers
or whatnot,
for fucking
but
teams.
a missed
or
field
for
goal is a
teams.
missed
Sorry
field
for
goal.
language.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, special teams has shown a lot of improvement. I mean, the weakest point on special teams is probably punting.
Yeah.
And I think Brent Venables will be able to get that figured out.
Sitting at 4-0, guys, 1-0 in the Big 12. Looking at Iowa State next week. Iowa State took it to Oklahoma State last week. Both those teams aren't too well, but as we all know, let's not overlook Iowa State. Nick, you experienced that in person with our All Reds Rough Rider uniform.
I did.
But do you guys got anything left on the game?
We just need to hire a rogue agent to talk some smack to Matt Campbell as he's walking into the stadium.
So
get him all
he'll
fired
get
up.
fired.
Get him out of his mind. Did you see
Yeah, I
that?
did.
That was hilarious. You're on the hot seat, Campbell, and he comes up and tries to fight the dude. Oh my god.
There's like 2
You're
assistant
making
coaches, a couple
$6
football
million a
players,
year.
and a cop holding them back, and it's like, dude,
Like-
just relax. Who cares
you
what he
doing?
says? Jeez.
You're a freaking professional.
I know.
Anyway.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we'll wrap that up, and I just want to take a couple minutes to go over the top 25 if y'all are okay with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Number 1 comes in at Georgia. I mean, we all saw that. 2, Michigan. All right. 3, Texas. That Red River Shootout's looking pretty good coming up here. As long as Texas beats Kansas, that'll be a big game. It'll still be a big game, but if Kansas beats Texas, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Rock chalk, Gabe. Ohio State at 4. Florida State at 5. Penn State at 6. Guys, I'm kind of scared of Penn State. Penn State's looking pretty good in my opinion.
Yes.
Got Washington at 7. USC at number 8. They had a little bit of a scare against Arizona State last night. They beat them by a couple scores, but they're
playing really good defense.
They are.
That speed D.
They are.
Yes.
Oregon at number 9 after handing a complete curb stomp to Colorado. Got Utah at 10. Notre Dame at 11 after losing to Ohio State on the last second of the game.
With 10 players in on defense.
With 10 players in on defense. Man, you got to feel bad if you're that guy. At Bama at 12. Guys, I'm not too scared of Bama right now. I'm not. Whatever. They got a good defense. They got a legit defense, but their offense still whatever.
I think we could agree that this year is so much more open than
It is.
in college football than what it's been in the last 7 years.
It is because you look at the entire top 25. Anybody could beat anybody. If you had a bracket of the top 25, I know it's an odd team, so let's say 26 teams. You couldn't tell me sitting right here at week 4 who would win that.
Yeah, it's very wide open and it's good to see, and I think it's good.
Are you
for
saying
college.
KU could put up 40 on Bama? Is that what you're saying? What a time.
It's not
What a world we live in.
It's not a no, but it's not a yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. And I mean, you got 4 Pac-12 teams sitting at 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
They all play each other. That's going to work itself.
They're gonna
out,
eat each
you know.
other up.
That's-
They're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. They get them at 2, 4, and 6.
There you go.
They're going to eat each other up. I honestly think Ohio State goes 0 and 2 between those 2 teams, but personally, I kind of just hate Ohio State. They're kind of annoying. But and then like Texas has the Red River rivalry, and Texas hasn't been consistent and beaten the teams that they should have beat for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Texas also has Kansas State. They also have Texas Tech, TCU. They still have some some good teams to play after they play Oklahoma.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
You got LSU at 13. You got Oklahoma. They moved up 2 spots to number 14. They were sitting at 16 last week. 16.
Yep.
They're up to 14. Of course, the AP poll don't really matter a whole lot right now. It's all about those college football playoff rankings that come out down the road. But hey, we got something. We got UNC at 15. We got Washington State 16. Duke at 17. Miami 18. Oregon State 19, Ole Miss 20, Tennessee 21, and how in the hell is Tennessee ranked ahead of Florida? That doesn't make any sense to me, but
that is weird.
That is stupid. Anyway, whoever
Florida took it to them.
They did. Whatever. You got Florida at 22. You got Missouri Tigers at 23. Missouri Tigers just 1 spot above the Kansas Jayhawks, who are at 24, and you got Fresno State at 25. You got 3 Big 12 teams ranked this week, and that is Texas, OU, and Kansas. So we'll see how it goes, guys.
Yeah. I think K-State can make it back to the top 25. There's a lot of time.
I do too. I honestly think them losing to Missouri was kind of a fluke, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's why you play the game, though. So
yeah.
Why do we even play the game if you're gonna rank another team above another team that beat that team? So you're gonna rank
once the college
for the
football
clicks.
playoff rankings come out, they'll figure that one out.
They will. Those make
They'll
more
fix
sense. That doesn't make any sense to me. But
I am happy Colorado is not in the top 25, though. Oh, my God. Can we stop hearing about them for a week?
yeah,
No disrespect to Colorado, but oh my, y'all are annoying. You got Big Noon Kickoff 3 weeks in a freaking row and College Game Day, and you were 1-11 last year. I get it, you got prime time, but give me a break, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
And then they get raced by Oregon, so yeah. Anyway,
I think we're gonna wrap it up. We are at like 20 minutes right now. I think. Are we? We're pretty darn close, right?
Yeah.
We're at
22.
Wow, we're over that. Okay, so. We're going to wrap it up. Nick, do you have anything?
Nope, that's all I got.
That's all you got? Emerson, do you have anything?
kind of a little bit more nervous about Iowa State now that they put up some decent numbers against Oklahoma State. It seems like their offense is getting clicking. But I think that just makes next week's matchup a lot more fun.
Oh, yeah.
And, I think Oklahoma will show up and take care of business. I'm not too worried.
It's a trap game.
I was more
that
worried
is
about
a trap
the Cincinnati
game.
game.
True definition of a trap game right there.
Yes.
So we got to come
Any
to play.
game before the Red River, trap game. So, but I'm not too
Like when they
worried,
dropped to
that's all I got.
Colorado, like back in like 2007, Oklahoma lost to Colorado right before they played Texas. That pissed me off. Anyway, that's all I got. We're going to try to make a preview video of Oklahoma versus Iowa State sometime this week. We'll see. We're normal guys. We all have jobs and lives and all that. Sometimes we don't get to it. But with that being said, see you guys next time. Boomer Sooner.